There we go. I think you guys can hear me. What's up, Blue Chips? We got Christmas Eve. What's going on? Let's get to it. Wrong button. All right. So dealing with getting the kid out of the house. Wife's leaving for a doctor's appointment. Gonna be a little bit of a shit show here at the open, but we're gonna get it going. No! Don't play that. Yeah, can't play that. We got copyright. I didn't even realize we were getting copyright striked for that pump up music, but we were. So hopefully that little bit doesn't get us. I thought I got rid of that last night, but I guess not. I'll just turn that off for now. So the plan today is trade the open. I have APA up as my main watch, and then we'll go from there. But not planning on staying on, so see what happens.
All right, Brian, I think Ron is ready to go. Yep. Daddy, do you want to? Oh, he's probably going to scream.
Yeah. I mean, literally worst timing ever.
Well, oh well, it's Christmas Eve.
We'll see. I mean, I'll come pick him up if he doesn't want to.
Why don't you grab a car? Take a car. Why don't you take Lightning McQueen or something? No, let's go. Bye-bye. Bye. Hello, sweetheart. Hello.
I was really interested in APA just because it's right at a key point on the daily here, right at the 200. I was kind of looking for a pop though at first.
Love you. Bye.
Camden. See, they got rid of the thingy. Goodbye. She'll be back. They love you. Goodbye. She'll be back, bud. Kind of listening. I didn't really hear anything as we were chilling. Just watching APA here. I would like a push up to 27, but it seems to be struggling pretty hard here. Have no problem not trading today. I would obviously like to see a trade pop up, but we're not here to force anything. What happened? Drop. Morning, Brad. What's going on, man? What? You don't want it? Okay. I'm not going to keep picking it up for you. Silly boy. Christmas number 2. Yeah, we have Christmas number 3 tonight. And then we have the real Christmas tomorrow morning. Then we have my mom's Christmas tomorrow afternoon. Oh, like a stop-by Christmas. And then we have 2 more actual Christmas parties. Or no, just 1 more Christmas party next weekend. Or, well, this weekend. ITCI attempting to do stuff. You putting your feet up on the desk? Who do you think you are? You think you own my desk? You think you own my desk? Oh, you trying to get down? You're the one that got down. Yeah. APA is not really doing what we wanted it to do. Watching PRVB here. Yeah, no thanks. Spread. Volume isn't great, and it's lower float. I just noticed the float is only 30 mil. I mean, if it wants to go straight through 1350 here, we'll see. APA really not doing what we want. We're just going to leave that alone. Let's see if I can put this on without getting copyright striked. It's kind of frustrating. I went through and was looking at all the copyright strikes, and it was there was 2 on multiples, one from the pump up music and one from the shows playing in the background. It's kind of annoying because it's I'm not using them. It's I don't know, not really using them against or in any kind of a weird way. I'm not trying to gain from their music, but whatever. Or even just the show. It's not I'm actually redistributing the show. It's just the audio in the background. But I guess the YouTube algorithm doesn't really have a way to show that. Really not much going on here. Kind of figured it'd be slow. We were really just kind of hoping for something to move at the bell. But nothing's really given us any kind of an entry. The only thing that was really even close was this PRVB, but the volume isn't that great, and it's also a lower float. Plus the spread on it has been really bad. I mean, for a $13 stock, you shouldn't be looking at a 10 to 30 cent spread pretty much consistently. Yeah, that was like the worst timing ever for my wife to leave the house. I thought I was going to have both kids, but my mom came over to grab my oldest to take him shopping for the morning. And that all happened at once. And I had to get everything ready while the wife was getting ready because she woke up late because it was her morning to sleep in. And it was just a huge clusterfuck. I most likely wouldn't have went live if I would have known all of that was happening this morning, but I obviously didn't know. SDRL, I have no shares there. I was looking up at the scanner. You riding it backwards? And I saw SDRL, and I typed it in my montage as SDRL question mark. Like, what the? My brother is like messaging me like crazy. I asked him a question about power supply units, or not power supply. I'm having a brain fart. It's a UPS. What the heck? It's a power supply. Universal power supply. It's a backup battery power supply. I don't even know. I'm having a brain fart on what they're actually called. I was like writing an essay. Yeah, it's kind of looking like a morning where we're not going to get anything. What did APA ever? No. APA was on the bear scam watch list looking for a hangover. But I was really looking for the pop to the pre-market high there at 27. It never gave it to us. But that should have been an indication that we were going to go lower. So kind of my fault for not really jumping in there, just risking off that pre-market high day. Would have been a nice little winner there. I really wasn't looking to go crazy today. It was kind of it's either working or it's nothing today. So is this LQDA, is this halted? I'm confused. The 2 million in volume is from pre-market, but since it's open, there's nothing. It didn't even form a candle. It just gapped up there. That's an interesting one. I wish we had the ability to like filter certain stocks. There goes Mbot. Yeesh. Mbot is the ITCI of yesterday, officially. That's what everyone's trading today. I guess I can put Mbot up. We're not really trading PRVB here, just kind of watching it. What's wrong, bud? You alright? Can you go cook me something? Can you go cook me something? What? What's in there? Actually, kind of interested now in PRVB. See if we can get a 1350 break here. I'd like to see this really extend from here. It's 1330 area. So we would obviously need the 1350 break. MBOT still going nuts. Trying to get through 17. Through 1350. There we go. We're gonna start this 56. See if we can't get back down there. There we go. Come on down, Mr. Bid. Alright, I'm gonna take it off there. This spread, probably the wrong decision there, but that thing is just going back and forth. I wanted the ass to drop down there. Ended up taking 11 cents from it. I just don't like how it's a 11 cent spread on a $13 stock at all times. I was like, I mean, you guys saw it dropped all the way to 13.20, and the ask was still at 13.45. That's why I was saying, come on, ask, drop, so we could take the quick drop there, but it wouldn't give it to us. And we pretty much dropped right down to that previous resistance, and we were holding, so I wasn't about to mess with it. Just take the quick one. If it wants to pop back up, we might be interested again, but I wasn't going to sit there and mess with it. I'll take the quickie and move on. This isn't exactly a day where I want to mess around too much. Of course. If our average wasn't so close to where it was bouncing up, back and forth, like our average was right where it kept going to 55, I probably would have held. Like if we would have got over 60, I got up to 73, but that was the ask. The bid never really got up there. But if we would have had an average up there towards over 60, it would have been a lot easier to hold there. But we'll take the quick trade and just move on. Again, we only look for it to come down and just test that previous resistance anyway. That's really the safe play, the very consistent play. So, holy crap. And while we were doing that, MBOT not only went through 17, it went all the way up to 1850. Yeesh. Kind of frustrating looking at it now, huh? PRVP. But again, Christmas Eve, I was really just kind of looking to make a few bucks, get in and out, get a green trade or two, and be done. I wasn't in a position where I could take most of my shares. I was going to start with 100, but the float really kept me away from taking more shares than I did. Because if for some reason I wanted to keep squeezing, I wanted to be able to add to it up near 14, and that was why I started lower. And just being Christmas Eve, don't really want to mess around too much, even though it would have been nice to somehow hold that. The spread as well, it was nasty, but it's looking like it would have been a nice hold. Oh well. Oh well. This M-bot's getting destroyed now. Yeah, Devin was mentioning RAD. Does look like it's in a nice ascending pattern here. Just needs to break high a day, 16.15, and this thing will go. Just kind of watching. Really not much going on. I think the volume's really kind of disappearing. RAD's been one all week. Looking at the daily, I guess I can't really. I guess I can go full screen. Looking at the daily, it's just been going non-stop all week. Definitely due for some sort of a pullback, I would think. And MBot is halted. What's up, DJ? How you doing, man? ITCI is getting spanked. It attempted at the bell, but it's getting spanked. Sorry, I'm trying to help somebody out in the Discord. What did you just call my mama? That's a Bing Crosby Christmas song? Hawaiian Christmas song? It's about to come fight you. What you got? You trying to go fishing? How did you even get this? You go fishing? Fishies? Fishies? Fish? Turn it around. There you go. You can do it. I got one. I want to show everybody we caught a fish. See, catch and release. You gonna catch one? Yeah? You almost got it, look. Yay, you got him! Yay, Camden! Fishy, you caught a fishy. Ready, Dice turn. Daddy caught one. Fishy. Fish? Let me know when you catch another one. Okay, catch one. You want this one? Okay, catch him. All right, mister. This M-bot is going nuts. You got the truck? Can I put the cars on there? Need some help? Cars? Yep, cars. There you go. Vroom, vroom. My ears. Put it back together. Dun, 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 dun. Rad and M-bot almost look like the same chart. Look at that. That's crazy. M-bot's obviously got a little bit bigger of a range. Help. What's up, man? What is that? Welton Seg, LA. Assuming you're in LA. Do you stream as well? I feel like I've never heard of you. No offense, but I'm always looking for the newbies. And today's stream was a little bit messed up. Plus, we weren't really looking to get too much out of today. Just kind of watching M-bot. We've got one trade on PRVB. Weld, nice. Ah, gotcha. PRVB actually popped up and gave us sloppy seconds. Man, I wish we would have kept this up. No volume, though, and the float. I mean, I probably wouldn't even have traded that, but it was kind of a good setup for us. I was pretty happy with the trade. Just kind of got out of it a little bit too early, just based off of this previous resistance and that spread. I mean, even look at it. It's still a 10-cent spread pretty much at all times. Nice, man. Yeah, MBOTs, that's been a crazy one. Definitely what a lot of people consider some bull flags there. Thing with low floaters, I mean, you can call them whatever they are, but myself, you know, I see a pattern on a low float and I just kind of disregard it, because a lot of people know that people are looking for those patterns, and with low floats you can easily make a pattern yourself if you're a big guy, like a big whale. So I just kind of stay away from those. I feel like APA was really the miss of the day. Kind of a bummer. I really just wanted a little bit more of a pop here up towards that high of day near 27, and we just never got it, and it just completely fell over. I mean, could have took it in the mid 75. I could have took it around 75, risking 26 cents, 25, 26 cents. And I mean, we obviously were looking for a lot more than that. So a little frustrating that we didn't really take this trade at all. You know, it's not my edge. This is something we definitely look to incorporate later in our trading journey. But being Christmas Eve too, really didn't want to take a trade that's more of a like a 60-40 trade. I was really just kind of looking for some quick scalp type plays today, and that's kind of what we got out of PRVB. Just got the pop up there, got short, took it off when it dropped down. So I'm not going to be too upset about it. Just kind of watching MBOT here. This thing's going nuts. What'd you do? Are you putting extra cards in there? How'd you get that in there? I don't even think he's supposed to fit in there. Open. Was up 1.5K yesterday, then minus 1K, then plus 500, then ended minus 100. That's why I stopped. Yeah, that definitely sounds like you need to relax. Get up 1.5K. That should have been it right then and there. Open. Open. Help. Help. Are you just purposely closing it? That wouldn't be very cool, mister. Dinosaurs? You gonna open the side? Yeah. Open. Whoa, look at all the dinosaurs. So don't lose those. Your brother will get really mad. Well, the big loss trades were kind of broker induced. What? How are they broker induced? Who's your broker? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Price went past my order, threw profit, then filled on the way back and hit stop within a second. Well, that sounds like you're playing some pretty volatile stocks. But you did say you were playing MBOT, so. I'm going to go with Thinkorswim, if I had to guess. Whoa, you did get another car in there. How'd you do that? Open? Help? There you go. Oh, ICTI, yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know what to tell you, but if you're going to play stocks like MBOT and ITCI, you might want to try a broker other than Thinkorswim, especially if you're trading to where you're talking about thousands of dollars. Thinkorswim is definitely not your best option at all. Excuse me. Whew. Unable to verify. What? I just tried to log into something and it had one of the captchas where you have to hit I am not a robot. I clicked it, it gave me the check mark, and then I went to log in and it said could not verify captcha. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Help? Cars? Car? Truck? Help? Say this doesn't open. Open. That's good. Pitai. I know we have shares there. I saw it earlier. Help? There you go. Whoa, MBOT. Halted down. That's exactly why I don't play these. Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, even 500 shares, though, can do some damage. Just be careful. I don't want people... don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want people around me that are, you know, in a position to blow up their account all the time, because one of the things that I talk about a lot on my channel is risk management. So if you're going to be here, you're going to have to try to listen. There's no reason you should be up $1.5 thousand and then end up down on the day. Got another subscriber. Sweet deal. I hate that YouTube hides so many of them. I guess we're just going to have to hit the last one up there. Rohan. Give you a shout out. Thanks for the sub. Did it not go through? Didn't go through. What the heck? Help? Uh-oh, what happened? It came off. How'd you do that? Hey, Daddy will fix it. I'll fix it. Guess we'll give the J-Man the shout out. What's up, J-Man? Thanks for the sub, man. J-Man, sub-man, J-Man. Help? Got 1, 2. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, no problem, man. And trust me, I'm not trying to be mean. The whole point of my channel is to really point people in the right direction. So don't want to see you risking your account at any given time. Because look at MBOT. Like, what if you got long there looking for this to break out over 20 and say you tried to get out and it missed your order and now you're halted down 1744. It's a bit scary. Help. Now I can only learn from it. Done for the day. Maybe I go to the simulator for more trading. It's just as much fun. Yeah, it's true. Going to the simulator never hurts. Uh-oh, you're missing a car. Car. Put the car back in right here. Car. It is indeed DOS. Best platform ever. Ever. It's so crazy watching P-Tide trade here. Open. I say that because it's moving so slow. Yeah, look at the volume. Some crazy volume. And the float's only 39 million. It's crazy. Yeah, interactive brokers. I'm actually on CMEG because I don't have the money for Lightspeed or interactive brokers. And it really depends on which broker you go with as far as how much you'll pay for it. Like Lightspeed, I think Lightspeed has access to DOS, but I don't know how much you have to pay for it. Interactive brokers, you have to pay extra for it. I want to say it's like 150 bucks, maybe more. To be honest, I'm not sure. But Lightspeed's platform is very DOS based, so it wouldn't be too bad to use. It's CMEG, it's Capital Markets Elite Group. They're a broker that a lot of people use. They're offshore. They're based in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? Is that right? I think I said that right. They're basically for people that want to day trade but don't have the $25,000 to get past the PDT rule. Yeah, it's Trinidad and Tobago. Wish P-Tie would make a big move here. Yes. Open. Open. But it's basically just a broker. Why are they cheaper than IB besides the 25,000 fix? I mean, I don't know. They're not cheaper though, right? Per share, IB is cheaper as far as commissions go, and I don't think IB has a platform fee either. But if you want DOS, I believe you'd have to pay for it with IB unless you want to just use IB's regular platform. But with CMEG, you get DOS and the data fees, everything included for $125 a month. So it's actually not that bad in comparison. Like if you wanted to use DOS with Lightspeed or with interactive brokers, I believe you end up paying more than you would if you were with CMEG. But the only problem is CMEG says that they're insured if you trade with them, but you know they're offshore, so who really knows? And I don't mean to scare you, but it's the truth, and that's kind of what we do here on this channel is tell the truth. So it's a risk you take, you know, but it's a risk you have to take if you want to day trade and not have to deal with the pattern day trading rule. Yeah, so $150 a month. I haven't looked it up in a while, so I didn't know if it had changed. I remember last time I had checked it was $150. Really not much moving at all. Kind of crappy. Was hoping to get one more trade in there. What did PRVB end up doing? It's kind of just going sideways. So, and it was pretty much sort of right where we got out. Could have got a little bit better of an exit, but wasn't really looking for that thing to kind of shoot back up against us after it had that crazy pullback with the 20-cent spread. So, help. Open. Open. You got a different car. Look, it's like Muddy Lightning McQueen. So your brother would know if you change that out. Let's just watch MBot for now. Yeah, I consider the 25K as a deposit and buying power booster, but I don't go into it when placing positions. So mentally, I don't count the 25. No, I totally agree. I always say if you have the $25,000 when you first start trading, you should definitely use it to get an account with one of the real brokers, Lightspeed, Interactive Brokers, Centerpoint. I think those are like my top 3. But it doesn't mean you should use the $25,000 that you have. Like, you should definitely start way smaller. Open. Open. You're silly. Oh, go ahead. I just gonna get a put a drink away. Lollipop, lollipop, oh, whoa, whoa, lolly, lolly, lollipop. Oh, until I'm nicely consistent over a long time. Yep, exactly. Consistency is the key. It doesn't matter if you're trading for $50 a day or $5,000 a day. It's all about consistency. Head and shoulder forming there on MBot, it looks like. I mean, a little early to say. I mean, unless you're considering this a shoulder here, then I guess, yeah, it could be. Probably going to drop to VWAP from there if it passes the neckline. I mean, who knows? I don't guess with these low floaters. You'll find that a pattern with me. I don't attempt to guess or assume what these low floaters are going to do, because nobody really knows. Nobody knows for sure. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yes? What are you doing, Lollipop? You standing up on the chair? It looks dangerous. Yeah, it looks dangerous. If I had to guess, if you're really looking for me to guess, I mean, honestly, I don't know, because it already disobeyed what I would have guessed once. So there's really no reason it wouldn't do it again. If we don't know, but nothing wrong with finding out what edge works on a particular stack. Well, yeah, no, I agree. But I always say this with low floaters. They can do whatever they want. You know, all it takes is one big whale to come in, and he can just do whatever he wants with the stock. That's the beauty of it being a low floater. Yeah, if you say so. I don't want to argue with you about it. A lot of people that trade these low floats, they really like to only see the stock when it does what they thought it was going to do, and they ignore it when every other time it didn't do what they wanted to do, if that makes sense. I watch these, but I very rarely trade them. I'd say yes, but we actually have season passes, so we don't need them. Oh, did you? Sorry about that. Neighbor came over and offered us Six Flags tickets, but we already have season passes, so I was like, "Oh, thanks, man, but I don't need them." Yeah, I have no problem discussing the things. I just don't want you to think that I'm arguing with you. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. Whether you like it or not, that's completely up to you. And whether you agree with me or not is also up to you. So. Yeah. I when I first started trading, a little over a year ago, I was into pretty much every pattern that you could think of. Cup and handle, head and shoulders, ABCD, like all of them. And I just quickly realized that they're a bunch of crap. Like, they work when they work, right? And then they don't work when they don't work. Like, look at MBOT right now. Clearly not doing what a head and shoulders should be doing. Price action is all that matters. And I will say that until I am done trading, whenever that is. Yep, price level and volume. Exactly. People can sit here and say, oh, look at that perfect head and shoulders, or look at that perfect cup and handle. Look at that perfect bull flag. Okay, whatever. You keep trading that stuff. I'm fine. You do. If you're fine doing that, then feel free. But that's not what I trade. Well, exactly, Nathan. So in the moment, right, this kind of looks like it was forming a head and shoulders. And if it would have fell over, everyone would be like, oh, look, a head and shoulders pattern. It worked. It worked. But now that it's going up, they won't even mention it again today. And they'll just forget about it, right? So they forget about when it didn't work, but they remember when it worked. Does that make sense? It's kind of like people that play poker. you don't really remember the hands that you won, but you remember all the hands that you lost, right? It's kind of like a little bit in reverse, but it's the same theory. So if it was so important, why don't you remember all the times you won? Well, because you don't need to remember all the times you won because it doesn't affect you emotionally, unless it's like a huge win. But like all your little wins piled up, you don't really think about those. But when you lose or have like a bad beat, you're like, this, like you're always going to remember and tell that story. Where it's just like when a pattern works in the stock market, people want to like have this accountability. So they're like, oh, remember when I called that Head and Shoulders on MBOT, on Christmas Eve, and it worked and I won, like, I had 200 shares and got 4 points on it. Like those are the kind of things that people will brag about. But if they enter the trade and it fails and they stop out, they'll never talk about that trade again because they don't want to brag that they lost. Like, does that make sense? I do use patterns in RSI and stochastic RSI to evaluate the price action though, and there's no problem with using RSI and stuff like that. But the more and more you trade, the more and more you won't need the RSI. You can just see it in the chart. So that's kind of where I feel like I am at this point. To be fair, the Head and Shoulders didn't finish. If I would trade, it would be my entry. If my entry would sleep under neckline and fill only if it works. Gotcha. No, I gotcha. But a lot of people, they look to enter the trade like at the top of the shoulder, the left shoulder, looking for it to fail. And even if you got in on this pop here, as you can see, it failed. So you should have theoretically stopped out at this point. But it looks like it was failing, and now it might fall over, right? So then what? What is that pattern? Is that like the abnormal long shoulder, Head and Shoulders? Got short shoulder over here, long shoulder over here. Perspective is hard. I've been paper trading for 3 months and convinced my wife to let me take 100 shares for real this morning. It worked out, but I'm trying not to let it go to my head. What stock did you trade, Nathan? Agreed, but both are overbought and often breakout can retrace quicker. Well, yeah, that's why I trade those. If price comes down to 17, it may still work. Yeah, but that's technically not a Head and Shoulders at that point, is all I'm getting at. A Head and Shoulders, it would have, on this red candle right here, it would have broke down. It wouldn't have went higher than the shoulder. Like it's almost like you have two shoulders now. Is totally not a Head and Shoulders anymore. I mean, unless you're starting the first shoulder from all the way over here, and then the head, and then the shoulder going diagonally. Your first trade was on ITCI. You got some balls. It's a higher high than lower high. That's higher than the first. That's not technically a Head and Shoulders. A Head and Shoulders technically is supposed to be literally a shoulder, a head, and then a shoulder, the same, like straight across. That's what it's supposed to look like. Like here. Like this. Why is it not letting me? Get out of there. There we go. So this is what a Head and Shoulders is supposed to look like. Shoulder, head goes above the shoulder, comes down, retests that same area that the shoulder based at, and makes a new shoulder right at where the other shoulder was and comes down. That's what a Head and Shoulders technically should look like if you're looking for a perfect Head and Shoulders. Now, granted, you can put them on a diagonal axis, but it should still be the same principle. It shouldn't be like we have here on MBOT, where, like, to me, here's the neckline, right? We'll draw this out. So to me, the neck, well, actually, since it is kind of on a diagonal, let's pull out the markers here. So our neckline is kind of right there. Then you got a shoulder, head, and then your shoulder should have been like that. And then boom, like that. That should be a head and shoulder, not what we have here, which is neckline, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, then what? Shoulder. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like that's not the definition of a head and shoulders. That's all I'm getting at. Yeah, but Nathan, just a 30-cent scalp could have turned into a $1 loss is all I'm saying. Especially when you're first starting out. Like let me ask you a question, Nathan. What was your strategy when getting into ITCI? It looks like you had said for the first momentum run over VWAP. So let's pull up ITCI here. I was watching PRVB there, see if we got some volume and went through high day, but it was a fake out. So we got the dip under VWAP, and then you bought as we went through VWAP. Yeah, Weld. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just telling you that it's technically not a Head and Shoulders anymore. You lost the credibility of a Head and Shoulders when this candle right here failed right here. When it went high a day, or not high a day, but when it went over this 1890 area, to me it is no longer a Head and Shoulders. It just doesn't make any sense. Personal opinion. I mean, let's look at it on the 5-minute. On the 5-minute, I don't even see any kind of a Head and Shoulders. The only shoulder I see is right here, which is what you're considering the head when you look at the 2-minute. I mean, even when we look at the 1-minute, it looks even more sloppy. If anything, you almost had a Head and Shoulders form in here, and then it failed. So, I mean, and then if you want to consider this a shoulder and then a head, and then here's your other shoulder, and it failed. So, I mean, really, to me, no matter how you want to look at it here, it's not a Head and Shoulders. Yeah. The only thing, Nathan, is you get lots of buying. I'm not exactly sure where you bought it, but these stocks, I mean, just as much as it went all the way through to 4180 like it did from VWAP, which was sitting down here around 40, once you bought in, I mean, that's the thing with these low floats. It could have easily have had this bar right behind it and went low a day. So that's why I asked what your strategy was, because say, for instance, it did do that, you know, are you emotionally ready and disciplined to get out of the trade right then and there when you realized it failed? Or are you a deer in headlights because this is your first trade and you've never really dealt with one of these before, that you're going to sit here and hold, right? Looking for it to bounce back up. And then it just kind of does this and just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And, you know, a lot of people aren't ready for that kind of stuff. And it's just, that's why I asked. ITCI that's definitely not a beginner stock. That's all I'm going to say. Well, and that's the thing, Weld, with patterns and EMAs. They're the two things that I realized that they don't work, because look at the pattern here on the 2-minute, then look at the pattern on the 5-minute. It's completely different, right? Look at it on the 15-minute. Now we don't even have a pattern, right? It just looks like a just a parabolic move at this point. But on the 2-minute, it looks very kind of grindy, right? Like it could just consolidate here until it really gets below 17. There's really nothing to gauge it all. It's still making higher lows, so it can continue higher, even though it looks like it made a lower high, right? So it's really, you know, who's biased. But you got to look at the overall trend too, right? We're obviously moving upward. We haven't made a lower low yet. We're still making higher lows. So until we make a lower low, this thing's in an uptrend, right? So even though it looks like we're already in a downtrend, technically we're not, right? Because we haven't made a low lower than the 1706 mark. So there's, and it looks like we might here in a second. But in the overall grand scheme of things, if you're bearish biased, like if you're looking for it to go down, we did make a lower high based off of the high a day. So technically we could be going down. So it's, again, it's bias related. The patterns and EMAs, they're different on every single chart. So that's why it comes down to what we said before, where price action and volume, they're the two things that you should be most concentrated on, because they're the only two things that really matter and are consistent on every single chart. Later, Nathan. Good old Patrick Wheeland. What's up, man? Congrats on the 1K subs. Thanks. Appreciate that. You know I like busting your balls, right? It's the only joy I get on Twitter is busting your balls. Look cold up there in New York, by the way. Must be nice to be able to go up to somewhere like New York like that and then just go right back home to Fort Lauderdale. You got 2 lollipops? Lollipops? They're big balls. Everybody wants a piece. Trust me, I do not want a piece of your balls. What did you say? I'm super relaxed here, not arguing at all, just discussing and potentially considering different opinions. No, it's fine, man. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to give you my opinion. Whether you accept it or agree with it, that's completely up to you. You got any Christmas plans, Mr. Wheeland? You going to go fishing? You can come. Ooh, ouchie. Hit your head. Show everybody your 2 lollipops. Lollipop. No, not at all, man. I don't think you're... I think we're having a discussion. I'm on the same page as you. I like talking about this stuff. If I didn't like talking about it, I wouldn't talk about it. It smells like pineapple. Pineapple? Pineapple? Yummy, yummy. Ouchie. 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 You want to get down? You're the one that slid down. You did that. You did it. You did it. What you see? The bucket? You want to play with the bucket? The bucket's in here. Look. Clean up this stuff for you in a second. I used to stream combat flight simulation and remember sometimes it's hard to say if chat is bitching or discussing. I mean, to be completely honest, I don't really care either way. I'm not one to kick anybody. I welcome everybody. If you want to have a discussion, if I truly believe in something, like, I'll argue with you about it. But if it's something that is up for opinion, then so be it. Look at Mbot getting spanked. Halt is at 1592. See if it wants to dive down there. It would have to go through VWAP to get there. You gonna go get the balls? Balls? You gotta go get the balls and put them back in there. funny. Whelan was talking about balls. Oh, we might get down there. Now it's at 1576. It's right at VWAP, though. Are we going to get a bounce, or are we going to go right through? See how much simulator money. Oh, we went right through. I was going to say, let's see how much simulator money we can make. See if we can go through 16. If we do, we might go right into a halt there. Head and shoulders played out. Get out of here. My son's like half scared of this toy, but he wants to play with it so badly. Yeah, I'm not even going to mess with this. I have no reason to. I'm actually going to lock my montages. I honestly have no idea when my wife's supposed to be home. Her appointment was at 10. It's already almost 11. I think I'm going to get out of here at 11 myself. Start some lunch. Really nothing else doing anything. What is this GEC doing? Nada. Just a random 1 million bar candlestick. And there goes MBOT. Halts at 15.15 now. It's like every part of me wants to trade this thing, but it's just no. Never doing it. The FOMO is real in MBOT. I thought I heard a car door. Whatever this GEC is doing, it's trying to halt. It's only 13 cents away at this point. 15 is now the halt price. And that's what you're looking for, is on big jumps like that. I've actually been debating on testing a new part of my strategy since I start with smaller share size. Thanks, Weld. I appreciate that, man. I wish the same to you. Obviously don't know you, just met you. But if you do have a very close relationship with your family, I wish you very happy holidays. And I always say, if you're not close with your family, take this time, this whole holiday season, Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas and New Year's, always, try to reach out. You never know. Let shit go in the past, obviously if it is allowed to be let go, and do some family stuff. Family is always going to be there for you, whether you want to believe it or not. So, and hey, now you're with a new family, stock market family. Tell your friends. 5,000 miles away. Hey, that's all you can do, man. If you're that far away, that's all you can do. All right, man. I will catch you later. See you. Have a good Christmas tomorrow. Oh, I got 6 minutes. Ugh, I could take a nap. I didn't get to sleep in today. I got to wake up early tomorrow. Tonight's going to be fun. I still got to finish putting the closet together today. Ooh. Halt price is down to $14.50 on MBOT now. For those of you that are still here, have you ever had a good t-shirt idea for the stock market? If so, what is it? I've been thinking about making some t-shirts or something for myself, just to have. I definitely want to get a hoodie. And one of the ones that I really want is something that I'm not quite sure I'm going to be too thrilled about to wear all the time. But everyone knows. How'd you get that one off? You got 2 lollipops now. You're going to be mixing strawberry and pineapple? That sounds like a good combo. Here, I'll turn this off. You can get all the balls and put them balls back in. Yeah, put all the balls back in. Sausage. Bite it. It's sausage, see? Yeah, I'm trying to get all his hair off here. More? Sausage. Okay, go pick up all the balls. Daddy's gonna have to pick up all these fishing rods. You're gonna eat my whole piece? That's why I made more than I did, more than I usually do. But sorry, I kind of cut off at the key moment there about the t-shirt. You are gonna eat my whole piece, aren't you? One last little piece. All yours. Hog jaws. Yeah, go ahead. Go pick them up. But everyone knows the stock ticker. Is it DKS? Yeah. Which is Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods, right? I think. Yeah. You gotta go get all the balls. Where's all the balls? Go get them. You gotta pick them up and put them inside. Here, I'll show you. I'll get one of them. Ball? Inside. You gotta get them all. I'm not gonna pick them all up for you. You get them. Yeah, see them all? Yeah, they're eggs. So, my t-shirt idea is literally just to say, like, short DKS, and then, like, since, I don't know, like 2000, whatever. What's their daily look like? They're actually at all-time highs. So I guess it would have to be, like, since, maybe they can't be at all-time highs. Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's say since 2017, 2016. It looks like 2016 they're all the way up near $60 pretty much for most of the year. They're actually down in the 30s at the beginning of the year. You just be like short DKS since late 2016 or something like that. I don't know. Just like random stuff like that. Or like the trader lifestyle didn't choose me, or I didn't choose the trader lifestyle chose me. Like just some pretty cool t-shirts that are relatable to the stock market. I feel like there isn't a lot of them. It's just a random thought that I had. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, light bulb moments? We're going to get out of here in a little less than 2 minutes. Go ahead and make my video real quick. I'm going to go make me some lunch. Don't forget, today is a half day. Market closes at 1 o'clock. As far as I know, they do still have after hours. I believe it's till 5 o'clock. 4 to 8, yeah. 3, yeah. So it should be till 5 o'clock from 1 to 5. Just be careful. Don't get into any halted trades like KPTI. My editing should be nice and easy today. Nice quick trade. Didn't really do anything special. In and out. How long was that trade? 35 seconds. Nothing wrong with that. 11 seconds and 35 seconds. 11 cents in 35 seconds. It was actually a little bit more than 11 cents. It was 11.1 cents. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Still appreciate that support. Have a Merry Christmas. If I don't talk to you before the New Year's, have a Happy New Year's, and I'll see you after that. We will be back here on Thursday. I'm going to be live streaming Thursday and Friday. We will be skipping the Friday night live stream this week just because, for obvious reasons, there's not going to be a lot of people around. And we'll get back to that the week after. If you haven't heard about the 1,000 sub giveaway, go check that out. It's on the channel, and there's some pretty good things being given away. So go check that out. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and see you Thursday. Peace.